Believe it or not, school, social life, sleep, you actually can have all three. Here we go. This has been my #1 most requested video, and I'm sorry this took me so long. Like, wow, I'm saying that as if I actually have like an audience. No, but honestly, I was kind of putting this video off because this video is very important to me because of how important my college years were, and I really want to be helpful to you too. I just really wanted to get it right. Learn from all my college mistakes so you don't have to make the same ones. This video is going to be directed mostly towards incoming freshmen and specifically UIUC freshmen. So if you're looking for more general college advice tips, those are going to come towards in like the latter half of the video or more towards the end. But first of all, I just want to congratulate you on getting into UIUC and committing to this school. You made a really great choice and you're gonna have a really great time here. Even though school is still gonna be modified due to coronavirus, I have a really strong feeling that this school year is gonna be a really good one because we are adaptable, we are resilient, and I'm really glad that you're all still gonna be able to have that on-campus college experience. Nothing is gonna be able to take that away from you. But until then, please wear your mask so we can get over this and return back to our actual normal lives as soon as possible. So this has been a very gentle PSA. Also, before we get into the video, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I have a new upload schedule, so I'm going to be uploading every Monday and Thursday, and sometimes on Saturdays if I have the time. I'll do my best. Also, let me know if you want more UIUC related videos in the future. I do have a lot more UIUC tips and stories that I wasn't able to fit into this already pretty long video, so thank you for clicking in. So just leave a like to let me know that you like this type of content, and let's get into the video. So I'm on my way to go pick up some food, but just some quick background about me. I just graduated from UIUC this past spring. I majored in advertising with a minor in public relations. I also had a minor in computer science, but I ended up dropping that halfway through because I am very bad at math. UIUC was my top choice, so it was pretty much the only school that I applied to. My hometown is only about 2.5 hours away from here, so I figured it was the perfect distance away from home, but also be close enough that it's very convenient, and it's also good for my major, so it just made sense. I just picked up food from Cravings. It's like a nice cheap place to get Chinese food on campus. You may or may not get food poisoning. It's never happened to me, but I've heard multiple stories, but I don't know, I guess just take your chances. Oh shit. Welcome to my mini mukbang. Alright, so speaking of food, here are my food tips. For the dining hall, I wouldn't really say that there is any one best dining hall. Actually, that's a lie. Oodles is the best dining hall, but it's only available once a week. Fridays for lunch. Clear your schedules, get your friends, go to Oodles. I didn't discover this shit until like the end of freshman year, but they have just the best food all around. It's so high quality, and like I would die for the food there. Otherwise, my biggest tip is just don't waste your swipes. I had 10.45, and even with that dining plan, I would still end most weeks with like 5 or 6 swipes left on my cart, and those swipes just go, they're just wasted. I think if you calculate it out, each swipe is worth like $16 or something like that, which is freaking insane. Like the dining is like so overpriced, so do not waste it. Like don't waste your money buying food because you're only gonna have a dining plan for probably your freshman year. Just take advantage of it because you're gonna really miss it afterwards. I'm trying to think, what are some of my favorite restaurants? Okay, I actually can't remember all my favorite restaurants right now, but I'll think about it and I'll put a list right here for you to look at. But at the same time, we are all broke college students, okay? You should be saving your money. Around campus, there's always good places to find free food. I think it's Tuesdays for lunch. If you go to the Asian American Cultural Center, they always have free food for you. And it's like pretty good, and you get to listen to a talk, learn something in between your passing period. Otherwise, you can go to like rush events or informational events, and they'll always have free food. You will never starve in college, okay? At the same time, this may not apply to freshman year quite as much, but I would really suggest learning to cook. Seriously, like not only are you gonna save a ton of money, but it's just an important life skill. Be wifey material. Or hobby material, I guess. Well, I'm pretty sure that 99% of my audience is female. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. Oh my god, speaking of females, like girls, if you go to McKinley, this is my hack, okay? You can get birth control for free there. Even if you don't want to take it, like this is the only chance in your life you're gonna get birth control for free. So you have to do an exam once a year to be able to be eligible for it, I guess. But then after that, you can pick up as many as 3 packs at a time, I believe. I've just been stocking up on that shit this entire time. I have like 2-3 years worth of birth control just backed up, so like whenever I'll need it, it's there, and I don't have to worry about it in the future. They also give out free condoms and Plan B every semester. So condoms you can get a pack every few weeks, and then Plan B, I think you can get free once per semester. It's like included in your tuition, so just go cash out on that shit every semester, okay? Like girls and guys can both go get it. However, just in general, I would say don't trust McKinley. The quality of the healthcare there is a little lacking. My doctor back home told me that they call McKinley McKill-me. So they also told me once I have an STD, and I was like, there's absolutely no way, it's impossible. And you know what, I wasn't sick at all, so whatever. At the same time, if you need to get out of class or work, it is very, very easy to get a sick note from them. So just go do it. It's worth it. I also get a lot of questions based on like what are the best easy classes to take at UIUC, and I took a bunch of gen eds and electives, so I'm just going to leave a huge list right here for you to look at. These are all the classes that I took and I got A's in. It was pretty easy, pretty low effort, and pretty interesting material too. For my sorority, we have resources where like we have a shared study bank, so we all share our quiz answers and study guides with each other, and they also tell us like which are good classes to take, or we can help reserve sections for each other. So I would just suggest if you join some kind of professional community, like they can help you out a lot with that kind of stuff too. As far as classes I did not enjoy, I would just say aside from Journalism 200, journalism classes are actually a lot of work. I actually love journalism. I took 2 honors classes for it in high school, so I thought I would enjoy it, but when I was actually there, like it's not just the easy pass gen ed. You actually really have to go out of your way to get an A in this class, and you have to do a lot of extra work. So if you're just looking for an elective or just an easy A, I would not suggest journalism classes. But just in general, there were definitely a lot of classes that I tried that I did not like, so I would just say don't be afraid to drop classes. I think every semester I dropped at least 1 class because there's a lot of time, there's a pretty big time frame of when you can pick up a class, drop it, and then pick up a different one. So there is some wiggle room for you there. Don't end up committing to a class that you dread going to because it's just gonna suck, especially if it was just an elective in the first place. Yeah, so sometimes if you find out you just don't like the topic or you just don't really click with the professor, I don't think there's any shame in dropping classes. College is the perfect time to try that kind of stuff out and find out what you like and don't like. Okay, what club should you join? Obviously there's Quad Day, which is a really, really, really great resource to find out what kind of different clubs are on campus. There is literally a club for anything you can possibly imagine, seriously. I personally think it's really useful to rush, so whether that's a social sorority or a business fraternity or a service fraternity, whatever it is, I think it's really helpful to just go out to rush events because that's a really, really great way to meet a lot of new people and just get used to socializing with a lot of people you never met before and networking, especially at the beginning of the year when everyone's really in the mindset to want to meet new people. Literally anything that you think you might be remotely interested in, just try it. And do it freshman year because that honestly is the best time to do it. Like, I feel like it's pretty common okay. I feel like it's pretty common for people to kind of settle into a place by sophomore year and just kind of stay there. So freshman year is really the time to just try out anything. UIUC is a really, really big school. How many students we have? Like 30,000, 40,000? I don't know. The best way to make it feel like a lot smaller and closer is to meet a lot of different people and just join a lot of different communities. That way now, every single time I go out, like I'll pretty much always see someone I recognize on the street. If you're looking to get a job on campus, here's my tip for you. No matter what kind of establishment it is, you're gonna have a great time there or a really shitty time there depending on how good the management is. So you should really just ask around. For all the places that I worked at, I made a separate video spilling the tea on all my past part-time jobs, so you can go watch that if you want. For example, a lot of people want to work at Sakanaya because it's a sushi restaurant, it's high-end, it's really classy, you make a lot of money, but I heard from a lot of different people that the management's like not good, so it's like kind of a living hell to work there. So that's just kind of a trade-off you want to consider. I don't know if it's still like that, I'm just saying that's just an example. Definitely ask around, but if you have the chance to work with people you know or your friends, you should definitely take advantage of that too. Okay, let's take a brief break here to talk about relationships and dating. So I know a very big question for freshmen. If they had a boyfriend or girlfriend coming into college, should they break up with them or should they come single, or what should you do? Okay, this is my hot take. If you're currently in a relationship but you know it's not serious, just break it off before you go to college. If you know realistically it's not long-term, like you really have to be honest with yourself and just really think. If you don't think there's a very high chance that you're going to marry this person, then just get out of it sooner than later. It's much better than to worry about like doing long distance or potential cheating or like just a lot of feelings getting hurt, and also limiting yourself by feeling like you can't make new friends with the opposite gender, which is really not a good thing, especially in the first few months of freshman year, because that's really important for you to make new friends and find your very community. You know what my friend told me recently? Apparently the people who find who they're going to marry in college is actually a pretty damn low percentage. Okay, just basically my biggest advice to you is when you're in college, don't worry so much about dating. I had pretty much been in a relationship all of college until I came back single senior year, and then when I finally broke up, I realized that I missed out on so much. I don't know, my eyes were just open to see such a big part of the world of being in college that I was limiting myself from. And I didn't get really, really, really close with my friends until senior year, which I really regret, because looking back, I wish I had not wasted any of that time on just one single person. And I wish I got my sophomore and junior year back to spend every single moment I could with those people. And I especially regret it because like this person's not even my life anymore, so what was even the point? Don't ignore red flags. Red flags are there for a reason. Your time in college is so precious, so don't waste your time on anyone that's not worth it. This is just my general tip for college in general. Do not waste your time on anyone or anything that is not worth your time. Because seriously, who are you trying to please? Like, the answer should only be yourself. Don't be afraid to say no. Don't feel obligated to anybody. Seriously, it's not that big of a deal. Prioritize your own health and the people you actually give a shit about first. favors. I feel like in the past I used to spend way too much time and money and energy doing favors for people that I don't actually care about and were actually giving me no real benefit to my life. The best part of college is that you can choose exactly how you want to spend your time and who you want to spend your time with. You couldn't really do that in high school. You can't really do that once you go get a job. This is the only time to do it. Take advantage of it. If you don't plan on being friends with this person after college, then why does it matter? Who cares? When it comes to college, I don't have many regrets. I think the biggest ones are related to dating, so don't let yourself get too engulfed in just one thing or one person. Speaking of boys, I'm thirsty. Let's go get some boba. I want to give you the rundown of all the best boba places on campus, but honestly, my favorite boba place is Taipei Cafe, and they just closed down. So depressing. What the fuck is this? I don't know. If you come here next year and try that place, let me know if it's good. I can't be an unbiased judge about that. I think my next favorite in line is Kung Fu Tea, which is where we're going right now, but after that, I would just say Kimoji is good, kind of overpriced. Barology is the same, except even more overpriced. What else is there? Cao Ca? I don't know about that place. I haven't been there enough to give it a real opinion, but... Okay, let's just talk about transportation real quick. I am very bad at directions. I will admit that. I am always getting lost. Even senior year, I got lost a couple times. So you can imagine how bad it was for me freshman year. I don't know who needs to hear this. I don't know if you also grew up in a suburban town, you never went on these public transportation buses, you have to pull the string for it to stop. Otherwise, it's just gonna keep going and take you further and further off campus. I don't know who needs to hear this, but there you go. Other than that, Google Maps and the bus transit app is gonna be your best friend. I think the bus transit app keeps changing. They keeps like shutting down and making new ones, so I don't know what the current one is, but you're gonna need that to help you get around. Also, what I learned is that you can actually walk everywhere on campus. You don't really need buses necessarily. Everything is pretty close together and walking is fun. Also, it's a very good way to still get exercise if you're too busy or too lazy to go to the gym. At the same time, I say that as a bitch who has a car on campus, so having a car is very nice. It's extremely convenient, or if you don't have a car, at least get a friend who has a car. As a freshman, I would not suggest getting a parking spot on campus. It's just not worth it. It's not really necessary, and I think you should use it first year to learn how to get around campus without a car, because it's an important skill to know. Also, I got hella parking tickets, like literally hundreds of dollars worth of parking tickets. I'm so bad. Just read the signs. Pay the meter and read the signs. They will always catch you. Otherwise, transportation around campus is not too bad. Pretty easy to get around. There's lots of different ways, so don't be too worried about that. Holy Jesus, it's hot today. Yeah, well, okay, actually, you know, it's too late. You already committed to UIUC, so I'm sorry to break it to you. Maybe you visited here in the summer or the springtime when it was very beautiful like this, but 90% of the time, it is going to be raining or snowing, or just really fucking cold. In my opinion, that is the one and biggest downside of going to UIUC. The weather is fucking whack, but it's okay, we are adaptable. Okay, the first thing is I would just make sure your shoes are waterproof. Like, the floor is always wet, I feel like. The ground is always covered in ice or snow or rain or mush. Do yourself a favor, get waterproof shoes. Also, just make sure they have a good place to dry off in your dorm or your apartment, just so they don't start smelling. Okay, actually no, waterproof is secondary. The most important thing is to get shoes that have like good grip on them. I cannot even tell you how many freaking times I have wiped out, like on my ass, like, or on my face in front of everybody, like on the ice, and I ended up with so many cuts all over my hands. It's just embarrassing. So if you're not from Illinois and you don't know how to dress for the cold, I would just say layers are going to be your best friend. And I also really like Uniqlo's Heat Tech. It's like basically undershirts or under leggings that you can wear that help you keep really warm. Just layer up. This is Weston. This is where I lived my freshman year. So let's talk about roommates and housing and dorming real quick. There's like a ton of different dorms on campus. I'm not too knowledgeable about all of them, so can't really give you the best advice on like which is the best one or whatever. But I would just say like the whole concept of a social dorm or non-social dorm is a myth in my opinion. Like it really just depends on who else happens to live there that year, and it depends on which floor you are. Like, I don't know, I was promised that Weston was going to be a very social dorm, but I don't think it was. I was on the second floor, but apparently the fourth floor is more social. But also I didn't end up making any like lasting friends in my dorm, so maybe that's why I felt like it wasn't social. I feel like a lot of it is just chance, so don't get too hung up in whatever dorm you're gonna end up in. Like, you're gonna have a good time no matter what. I think what really matters more is who your roommate is. Whether or not you have a good roommate or housing situation is probably gonna be a big determinant of whether or not you have a good time that whole year, no matter what year you are. If you don't exactly get along, just be willing to work on your differences, be willing to share. Communication is key. That's all of it you can really say. Like, each case is going to be different. As for dorm gear, I don't know, I don't have too many tips there. I would suggest getting a mini fridge, but I would rent it if you don't plan on keeping it afterwards, because so many freshmen actually end up throwing it away at the end of the year, which is so wasteful. Just rent it if you're not sure. After freshman year, I would move out of dorms as soon as possible. Of all the people I know who ended up doing dorms sophomore year too, ended up regretting it like halfway through. Just getting an apartment, there's just so much more freedom. You're able to cook, and like, it's just so much easier. I would really suggest moving out to an apartment as soon as you can. There are some campus rental properties that have good reputations and some that have more shady reputations, so definitely do your research and ask around. And I'm not talking about like Googling, like I would ask your friends, ask your older friends and part of your clubs, or go on Reddit. Those are going to be really good resources for you. Actually, yeah, what's really cool about UIUC is I believe UIUC has the biggest subreddit for any college campus, which means there's so many resources for you, and like if you have any questions, there's probably already going to be an answer there, or you can ask and someone will be able to help you. So that's what's really cool. Reddit is going to be a really good resource for you. All right, it's starting to get dark, so I'm going to start heading home, but real quick, I just want to tell you about some of my favorite spots on campus. First, Ike is obviously one of them. I come here to go for walks all the time just because it's so beautiful here. It's so peaceful. This is one of the prettiest places to catch the sunset too. Inside the Ike, there's actually practice rooms on the second floor, which is a really great place to just stow away and get some time to yourself. There's a piano in there and you can like practice music or whatever, jam out with your friends. That's one of my favorite spots that I miss going to. Some of the best places to study, I really like Ace's library. Everything's just very like clean and quiet there. Also, the foreign language building is a little bit dingier, but it's also a pretty good place to get a quiet study room. As for the gyms, there are 2 gyms on campus. One is the Arc over here. 𝙝𝙤 is on the Urbana side. Even though pretty much for all 4 years I've lived close to the Arc, I do prefer going to 𝙝𝙤 just because I feel like Arc is the place where all the people who are really like hardcore workout, like the people with the really big muscles who like grunt and go, ooh, you know? I feel like that's where they like to work out. It's very intimidating. But 𝙝𝙤, it's just feels more like home. And also I really like going on the treadmill that overlooks that one view on campus. It's just so peaceful. The gym normally gets really busy after class time, so the best time to go is actually maybe in the morning or afternoon, but I'm gonna be honest, it's actually pretty crowded like all the time, so which is a good thing. That means we're all healthy. Also, the engineering quad is gorgeous. I never really go there because I'm not an engineer, but I really like going there for walks too. All the architecture and the nature there is just so beautiful, so I really like taking photos there. Some other great photo spots is Japan House, which is slightly off campus, and in the springtime, maybe April-ish, was when the cherry blossoms bloom, which is really pretty time. You gotta go there to take photos at least once. Also, like the little quad area by Granger Library is a good place. South Quad is like a nice open fields. There's also the bell tower there. My last go-to photo location is the Cranart Steps. So those are those big white steps, and it looks really good there around like sunset time because that's when the sun catches the light of the building behind the steps and it reflects back and it just looks really good. Those are all my go-to photo locations. Oh god, I'm so sweaty. Hold on. Now that I'm back in the comfort of my own home, let's talk about drinking. So UIUC is very known for being a big party school, and I'm not condoning underage drinking. I'm just saying this because I know it's gonna happen anyways. If you don't feel the need to drink, then please don't feel pressured to. But if you do choose to drink, it's best to do it responsibly. So here are my tips for you. This is probably gonna be the first time that you're gonna be exposed to like parties and alcohol, like at least to this extent. Really find out what your limit is, but don't do it irresponsibly. Oh god, should I expose myself here? Yeah, this was me. Second semester of freshman year, I drank 4 to 5 times every week. This is very bad for my health, and I also gained a lot of weight because alcohol makes you gain weight. I was also hungover non-stop, so I would miss classes. This was, those were, yikes, not proud of those days, but I'm just saying, please learn from my mistakes. The best way to avoid being hungover is to just drink water. Drink 2 glasses of water before you go to bed. Also, it's important to drink water throughout the night too. When you're at a party, like actually actively go out and seek water. Like ask the host, and remember that alcohol takes a little bit of time to hit you. Just drink a little bit at a time. Trust me, sometimes it can even take up to an hour and a half to hit you. So just don't be too in a hurry. That being said, make sure to eat something before you drink. Eat a decently substantial meal, like maybe an hour or so before you drink. It'll help you a little bit from having an upset stomach or like throwing up later. Most importantly, always be safe. Always walk with a friend. Cover your drinks. Just be very careful. It's stupid that I even need to warn you about getting to parties, but that's just the reality. Don't be naive. That's just what I'm trying to say. People should just learn to control themselves and not just be pieces of shit. Only party at places or with people that you feel comfortable with. I wouldn't suggest just showing up at random places because you never know, and likely if you don't know those people, they're not gonna give a shit about you if something bad happens. So that's why I always prefer to drink like at home or at my friends' apartments or at a frat house where I'm like very comfortable with every single person there. And oh, also what I do is I always have a Gatorade in my fridge. I just always have at least one stocked in my fridge. So you just need to drink something with electrolytes. So that could be like sports drinks, coconut water, Pedialyte. The best hangover food is pho, because if you drink that broth, like that soup, good for the soul. good for your hangover. Unofficial. This is a very big part of UIUC culture. So if you don't know what unofficial is, white people really love to drink on St. Patrick's Day for some reason. Apparently that's a thing. I didn't know that. But St. Patrick's Day always falls over our spring break. So that's why we have an unofficial St. Patrick's Day. So it's on a Friday, but normally it lasts the whole weekend. And people will literally wake up at 7 a.m. to start drinking and keep going and marathon drinking until night. A lot of people drive in or even fly in for some reason for this holiday. It is a big part of UIUC culture. It's a fun event. I know that there are a decent amount of freshmen who actually go home this weekend because it can be very crazy and there's cops everywhere. Be very, very safe on this day. All I can say is whatever you choose to do, make sure you're doing it with friends that you trust and you know that you guys will take care of each other. So that pretty much wraps it up for all my general UIUC tips. Before I wrap up this video, I just want to give you some general advice for college that I think is really important to keep in mind and are things that I wish I knew coming in freshman year. Number one, the most important thing is to find the right community. Find your home, wherever that's going to be. I really believe that is the most important thing for you to do to have a very fulfilling college experience. For that reason, don't be afraid to try out new things. College is literally the perfect place to do that. So don't be too in a rush to settle in somewhere. Who you're friends with in the first few weeks of school is 99% chance not going to be the people that you end up with at the end. The people that I was friends with, I went to parties to, or I ate at the dining hall with them, I literally don't remember their names. Chances are the people that you meet at the very beginning are not going to be your ride or dies, and that's okay. But then the people that you do end up becoming very close friends with are going to become some of the most important people in your life. As someone who's already graduated, just don't take any of those people for granted. All of my best friends, I can show up at their apartments in less than 5 minutes walking, and you're never gonna have that again. Don't forget that your days in college are numbered. Like, it may seem like you have all the time in the world and you can just take your time, but I don't know. With every year that passed, the more in a rush I felt, and especially senior year, I just wish that I knew how to make time stop. So obviously make the most of your college years, but make the most of freshman year especially. There is something mystical about freshman year that, I don't know, sometimes when I look back, I'm like, did that even happen? Was that even me? Like, something about it is just different from the other 3 years of college. You're free for the first time and you just feel so excited to be here and you're meeting so many new people. There's nothing like it in the world. There's so many resources on campus. It's actually insane. And there's lots of cool events that happen around that I wish I took more advantage of. Like, I wish I went to more football games. I wish I went and saw more plays or musicals at Cranard. I wish I took advantage of Ark and Cersei more and like used the swimming pool and went in the hot tub and climbed the rock wall. College is going to be your time to shine. I actually really do believe that if you are a beautiful person on the inside, then that's going to show on the outside too. Your outer glow up will very closely follow your inner glow up. I would also say to document as much as possible. I made monthly vlogs all of senior year just to recap my memories, but I wish so much that I did that since freshman year. Like, looking back, even looking at my September vlog now, which was like less than a year ago, I'm like, oh my god, who is that? But imagine if I did that since freshman year. Like, that would have been such a great thing to look back on. So even if you don't make vlogs, take a lot of photos, take a lot of videos, document it. These are memories that you're gonna love looking back on and reminiscing on in the future. My next piece of advice to you is to be a yes man. Basically, just be open to new experiences. Don't try and plan so far ahead because, you know, we all know that's not how life is gonna work. Before I came into college, I planned out exactly my class schedule for the next 4 years. The only one that actually happened that way was first semester freshman year, okay? Everything else changed so much and you have to just take it one step at a time. If you're like me and really like to plan ahead for the future and just want to know your life plan for the next 5 years down to the nitty-gritty detail, I get it. But you just have to be realistic that just think about your life. So much can happen in just 1 year and you don't know what kind of opportunities are going to present themselves to you. So it's best to just play it by ear and take it as you go, even if it's not what you really expected. At the same time, please do not overcommit yourself or overwork yourself, especially if you went to a very competitive high school. You can have that negative attitude of like being really busy or being really tired and not getting any sleep is like a source of pride for some people. I understand where you're coming from. Like, I get that because I used to feel like that too. If you really think about it, that's just stupid. Overworking yourself and damaging your health, not cool. Never seeing your friends and getting distant from them, not cool. Having a healthy work-life balance, very cool. People who really embody like work hard, play hard, I admire those people so much. Those are the people who really have it figured out. Believe it or not, school, social life, sleep, you actually can have all three. It's all just about prioritization. At the end of your college career, are you really gonna remember that paper that you spent all night writing? No. At the end of your life, are you really gonna care about what your college GPA was? No. The older you get, the more you're gonna realize that relationships are the most important thing in the world. Nothing even compares. And you know what the funny thing is? Employers tend to hire people more based on their personality than their skill. If someone is really good at selling themselves, if they interview very well, and if they just seem like a good, positive, engaging person to be around, someone who has good social skills, that person is probably gonna get the job more over someone who is more technically qualified. School is not everything. Grades is not everything. The type of people who are so focused on school and school only tend to actually not be as successful successful as those who are more well-rounded, because those people only really know how to follow directions. They're told what to do and they just do a good job at it, which is fine in and of itself. But in the future, to really be successful, you need to be the type of person who is able to improvise, and like even knowing what the next step to take is a skill in and of itself. That's why it is important to get involved in extracurriculars, meet a lot of different kind of people so you can learn more about the world. Street smarts are just as important as book smarts. Of course, it's very easy for me to say this because I was an advertising major, which is notoriously a very easy major to be in. But at the same time, I did used to have a very unhealthy relationship with work. Like, I used to always work myself to the point that I would break down, or if I ever had more than like 3 free hours in a day, I'd be like, this is too much, and I would like go get another job. And then I would be so stressed and overworked that I would just have mental breakdowns all the time. I think I really just learned that you should value your rest time. Your health is most important than anything. You should take time for yourself. You don't need to fill up every single hour of the day. What you actually learn from college, honestly, unless you are an engineer or like doing something like very technical, the majority of what you learn in college is actually not from your classes. I'm sorry, this sounds bad to say, but looking back, I can't really remember anything that I learned from college, like from my classes. Like, okay, no, sure, of course I learned some stuff, but it definitely wasn't 4 years worth of stuff. But what I did learn from college was much more priceless than the stuff that I could have learned from books. It came from all the other parts of college, you know, like living on your own for the first time, learning how to take care of yourself, meeting new people from all sorts of different backgrounds, trying new things and failing at it, and getting comfortable with failure, or making mistakes in relationships and getting your heart broken, making friendships that start and end, but then also making friendships that you know are gonna last a lifetime, and learning what it means to be a good friend. And that's why all the things that I learned in class, or even the specific major that I chose, like doesn't really matter that much. It's really everything else that comes with college. I hope that all the tips in this video were helpful to you. I really hope that you have a very successful and fulfilling college career. I'm so glad that you chose to come to UIUC because I had a wonderful time here, and I really, oh god, why am I getting emotional? Am I really gonna cry right now? And my hope for you is that you have just as good of an experience as I did. If you want to watch more about my UIUC experience, I made a video a couple months ago about my graduation, just recapping my entire 4 years, and also how I celebrated my graduation in quarantine. If you're interested, you can go check out that video. I'll link it down below. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I love you so much, and I will see you in my next one. What the fuck? You did not see that.